In the heart of Britain, there is a place where they know a thing or two about resilience, about community spirit.
You get one crate from the picking shelves of condiments.
It's 9 in the morning on who knows what day. For the volunteers of this food bank, each seems to roll into the other at the moment. We're in Coventry, in a warehouse where two organisations have come together. The Trussell Trust is used to getting food out to those who can't afford it. But now, as well, they must get it to those too vulnerable to leave their homes. The donations are sorted, boxed, loaded and away. The destination is across the city. The Good Neighbours Project is the initiative of an organisation called simply Hope.
We'll have enough for the curry.
The volunteers here are in full swing. They've been in overdrive since the lockdown began. What's driven you to come down here and help out?
I love community. They've asked me to do it. The wife's got me involved. So I thought, why not? Why give my time up? I'll give my time up to help people.
With a system they call Hub and Spoke, they fan out into the city.
I've got a lot of parcels to be delivered today. Can I call you back? I'm just dropping off some food at the moment.
This is Jackie, on her way to deliver a food parcel to a man called Ali.
Morning, Ali. Good neighbours.
Thank you.
He's blind. Imagine that, reliant on touch, and yet in an environment all around us where that could be lethal.
Thank you.
To everybody around the country who is watching this, thanks ever so much for helping people like myself and other vulnerable people during this difficult time.
Up the road, the police are out. What a sign of these corona times this is. Nada Rasa has a wife and 3 children to support in lockdown at home, and he has 3 employees to support at his shop, which must remain open because he has a community to provide for and a living to make. These are the multi-layered conundrums of this challenging time. Are you worried about your business?
Yeah, this business going mostly more worse and worse. It's going
Worse and worse?
Yeah. Then maybe next week or end up then this month maybe this close. No people there.
The old cathedral stands here as a memorial of the Blitz. Destroyed on one night of bombing in 1940, they thought it would break the spirit of the city. Instead, the opposite happened. Out of this came hope. It stands still as a reminder of survival and of renewal. Linking those past struggles with today, is that perhaps somehow not quite the appropriate comparison? Well, the community spirit and the determination which rose from here back then is, without question, here again today in abundance.
The human desire for company, for being together, for supporting each other, for being supported by others is so deep and so powerful that it's finding a way of overcoming the distance which has been enforced upon us by this virus. I think in wartime you had the same sort of experience we're having today. A deep desire for connectedness, for togetherness, a spirit of help, I would put it, rising in the city, and also a spirit of hope.
On the road south, Chris Merritt is keeping food shops in the smaller towns stocked. Delivery drivers have always been key. It's just that now they are recognised.
We drive past now and we get the thumbs up from people, we get people pipping, so, it's a privilege.
Chris's route takes him through a place where lockdowns and pandemics have been part of history. Stratford-upon-Avon, Shakespeare's birthplace. Quiet and shut today, just like it was 500 years ago, because an outbreak of the plague began here in this inn. The first victim, Oliver Gunn, died inside. His death certificate carries the words, "Here begins the plague." It's in a registry office that today is only open for people to register the dead. On the edge of the town at the Shakespeare Hospice, Jenna Norris is one of a team of palliative care nurses, comforting those at the end of their life. Well, we're just following Nurse Jenna now as she begins her day of home visits. It's going to be a long day for her and for many others, and it's occurred to me that as we as a society have focused a lot on hospitals, we've focused less on nurses who are making these all-important home visits.
As a palliative care nurse, we're normally very tactile with our patients and their families. We use touch a lot as a method of comfort. So, for example, like you said, giving someone a hug or holding their hand, and not being able to do that at the moment is really, really hard.
Down on the Avon, this was supposed to be the setting for a big Easter fundraiser for the struggling hospice. Of course, that didn't happen. Nick Birch, organiser of the fundraiser and owner of Avon Boating, has furloughed all his staff. We meet on what should be the first week of his tourist season. Instead, now he's wondering what next.
We're all concerned about the business and the outcome, and a lot of unknowns at this point. How long it's going to go on, how long we can maintain our reserves, what we will need to borrow, how much and when, and how much that will cost. A lot of unknowns at the moment, but you've got to take it bit by bit. Keep a stiff upper lip, I suppose.
Further south, Shakespeare's country gives way to the Cotswolds and fields farmed by four brothers from an old family of vegetable growers, the Drinkwaters. They have never known it so busy. From the farm shop, a home delivery service has been set up in just days. Hello there, I would shake your hand, but we can't. How are you? I'm Mark. A local family supporting the local community with local produce.
The world will never be the same again after Corona. And I think there are some fantastic ideas out there where if we ever get over this, which we will, the world has to change. I look at life differently now to what I did 6 weeks ago. It's made me realise actually what I have here. Maybe the coronavirus will actually, some good of it will come in the end, and it will make people realise the fact that we have to look after the planet, for not only for our children, but for our children's children.